Hey, 1st through 4th grade leaders, we are jumping back into full swing this week, getting back to our regular routine of large group and small groups. This month, our big idea is wisdom. We are going to be focusing on the bottom line. If you want to be wise, look before you leap. We're going to be diving into Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3, where we see that Solomon had very wise words and asked for wisdom from God, and we can do the same. All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different with first and second service. We are going to scale back the number of activities that we do. We'll have one activity for first service and one activity that's different for second service to allow our kids that are coming for two services to have different activities. Starting in September, around the I'm not sure what exact date. We're going to start a breakfast club for all of our volunteers whose kids come to services. We are going to start having breakfast for them in another room where they will get to watch a video and just hang out, and then come to second service for their service. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll have more details for that coming up. All right, let's get started. So as the kids arise, we're going to do something a little bit different. When they get to the small group area, I'm going to have games for our earlier riser. Then right about 5 minutes till, they're going to go back to their small group, and they're all going to have M&Ms. We're going to play a game called M&M Icebreakers. Here it is. So what they're going to do is get a handful of M&Ms. Whatever color they have are the questions that they'll answer. If you happen to have a small group, then you can let all the kids answer. Otherwise, just let them answer questions that correspond with the M&M colors that they have. All right, after that, we're going to go to large group. We're going to have a game, and we're going to have some worship songs, and then we're going to dive right back into our small group activities. All right, what we're doing right now is slowly adding more and more volunteers. I do not want more than 6 to 8 kids in a small group, if possible. So what we're going to start doing, even if it means I'm adding volunteers, even if there's only 3 or 4 in a small group, I think it'll be easier for us to manage. So start looking for volunteers to be shadowing with you. All right, the number one activity for first service, this is only for first service, is called Wise Guys. We're going to be focusing on the Bible verse in both first and second service. The activity for first service is called Wise Guys. I have motions to go with the verse, and it goes like this. Our verse is found in James chapter 1, verse 5a. If any of you, and you're going to point like this, needs wisdom, we point to our heads. So if any of you needs wisdom, we point to ourselves, you should ask God for it. Should ask God for it. He, keep pointing, he will give it to you. And then they just make a fist in front. Then they say James 1, 5, and the sign language motion for A. All right, that's the motions. I have them printed down for you. Once you go over the motions, we're going to do it in big group. You'll go back in small group, go through your motions, read the verse, and then divide your kids up into 2 teams. They're going to be given crowns, and you're going to assign each kiddo a phrase from the verse. I have those typed out for you to assign. The kids will pass the crown over their head and under their legs and say their phrase from the front of the line to the back of the line, and then start over. If you only have 5 kids or less, keep them in one line, and they can just repeat it over and over. After you play that game for a couple of rounds, you're going to bring the kids back together and have some review questions. They're very specific for if God gave you all the wisdom in the world, like Solomon, what would you do with it? This is going to allow you a chance to really have some good discussions with your kids, because we have always talked about how our small groups are based on relationships and how important that is. So I want us to spend a little bit more time talking with our kids and not rushing from one activity to the next. Then I have brand new prayer notebooks for you, so just copy down their prayer request and close out your activity with prayer. For second service, your game is called Looking for Wisdom. They will get 2 pieces of construction paper like this. They are going to write Wise Eyes on one of them, James 1 on the other. They're going to roll them up like binoculars. As such, you're going to tape them together. Then tape the cylinders together like binoculars for them to look through. And then after you finish that, they will get all finished. Then you will have discussion questions for second service. I'm hoping this will help our kiddos that are attending 2 services and make things a little bit different. All right, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call, and let's touch base and see how this is working for each of us. Don't forget, Huddle Up is super important. You've got to be there for those kids as they arrive. Kids start checking in and arriving at 8:45. You need to be in place for us to huddle up and pray 30 minutes before service, first service. So by 8:35, first service, 10:10 about for second service, just to give you time to get out of service and get over to us. All right, sorry for the long video. Can't wait to see you on Sunday.